Welcome to AI ConvoCast, where we bring you the latest in AI and tech innovation. Quick housekeeping. Check out the affiliate links in our description. Using them supports the show, and please don't forget to rate, review, and share if you like what you hear. Let's jump right in. Today, we will be covering Anthropic's Claude experiencing a major outage affecting thousands of users, Microsoft rolling out Wave 3 of its 365 Copilot with deeper agentic capabilities, Nvidia showcasing AI-driven neural rendering at GDC 2026, and growing enterprise pushback over Microsoft's AI bundling costs. Let's get into it. On March 11th, Anthropic's Claude hit a significant service disruption that left users across the board unable to get responses. Starting around 10:29 in the morning Eastern Time, reports began flooding in, with over 1,400 reports logged on Down Detector. Users on both the free tier and paid Claude Max 5X plans were met with generic "something went wrong" error messages when trying to interact with the chatbot. Anthropic acknowledged the issue on their status page, stating they were seeing elevated errors on Claude AI, and that they were investigating. As Tech Radar reporter Jacob Kroll put it, "If you're having issues getting Claude to respond, you're not alone." Tech Radar actually spun up a live outage blog to track the situation throughout the day. The disruption hit both the web and mobile versions of Claude, though the impact on the API side wasn't entirely clear in the initial reporting. This comes at a time when Anthropic has been experiencing rapid subscription growth and increasing enterprise adoption. For companies that have been integrating Claude into their daily workflows and even evaluating it against competitors like GPT-5 class models or Gemini 3 class tiers, uptime and reliability are becoming a real deciding factor. It's the kind of thing that reminds everyone that as these platforms scale, keeping the lights on consistently becomes just as important as the quality of the model itself. Now, shifting over to Microsoft. On March 10th, coverage dropped around Wave 3 of Microsoft 365 Copilot. And this is a pretty meaningful expansion of what Copilot can do inside the apps people use every day. We're talking Word, Excel, PowerPoint, Outlook, and Copilot Chat. The big shift here is that Copilot is moving from being more of a suggestion engine to something that can actually take action. In previous versions, if you asked Copilot to help with a document, it might generate a separate draft for you to review. Now with Wave 3, it can directly modify files from the chat interface. That's a notable jump in autonomy. Microsoft described this update on their official blog by saying, "Wave 3 of Microsoft 365 Copilot marks a turning point in how AI shows up at work." Alongside this, Microsoft formalized a new subscription tier called Microsoft 365 E7, which they're branding as the Frontier Suite. It's priced at $99 per user per month and bundles Copilot with Agent 365, Microsoft Entra Suite, and the full E5 security stack. That tier becomes available May 1st. The messaging from Microsoft leans heavily into what they call multi-model intelligence, embedded directly into workflows, and there's a strong emphasis on governance and observability for AI agents operating at enterprise scale. So it's not just about making Copilot smarter. It's about giving IT departments the tools to manage and monitor what these agents are doing across an organization. Over in the gaming world, Nvidia made a strong showing at GDC 2026, which ran March 9th through 13th in San Francisco. On March 10th, Nvidia VP John Spitzer led a session on RTX neural rendering advances, walking through how AI is being woven deeper into the graphics pipeline. The idea behind neural rendering is essentially using AI models to handle parts of the rendering process that have traditionally been done through brute force computation. Think of it as the GPU learning how to generate realistic lighting, reflections, and textures more efficiently rather than calculating every single ray of light from scratch. Brian Catanzaro also led a session titled AI Trends of Today and Opportunities for Tomorrow, exploring where AI-driven development tools are headed. NVIDIA's official GDC page summed it up as an invitation to discover the latest innovations in RTX neural rendering and AI. They also premiered their GeForce On Community update, which was streamed on YouTube and Twitch. The focus across all of these sessions was on real-time path tracing combined with AI-assisted asset generation, essentially making it faster and cheaper for game developers to create visually stunning content. This all serves as a warm-up for Nvidia's much larger GTC event running March 16th through 19th, where we can expect even bigger announcements around their Blackwell and upcoming Rubin architectures. Now, circling back to Microsoft from a different angle. On March 10th, a firm called US Cloud released an analysis warning that Microsoft's cascading pricing changes could raise enterprise agreement costs by as much as 25%. They characterized these increases as an AI tax, arguing that the combination of Copilot bundling, the elimination of certain enterprise agreement tiers, and escalating unified support costs are creating a mandatory cost increase for large organizations. Their example looked at a typical $10 million enterprise agreement and mapped out how these layered changes stack up. US Cloud described the pricing as imposing a mandatory transfer of enterprise IT budget, essentially arguing that Microsoft is passing along the cost of its massive AI infrastructure build-out to its existing customer base. And the numbers on that infrastructure spend are significant. Microsoft reportedly spent around $37.5 billion on AI infrastructure in the second quarter of fiscal year 2026 alone, with the new E7 Frontier Suite bundling Copilot into a $99 per user per month package. There's a real tension forming. On one hand, the productivity capabilities are getting genuinely more powerful with Wave 3's agentic features. On the other hand, CIOs and IT budget holders are starting to push back on what feels like an unavoidable cost escalation tied to features they may not have asked for. It's a dynamic worth watching closely as these bundled AI tools become harder to separate from the core productivity suite that enterprises already depend on. Thank you for listening to AI Convo Cast. Please don't forget to rate, review, and share if you like what you hear. Thanks and hope to see you again next time.